If prostitution is considered the oldest profession, it's no surprise to learn that the very first sex toy dates back 30,000 years. This ancient tool was carved from siltstone, but built for just one thing: pleasure. Fast forward, with new technology came new devices, like this 18th century vibrator powered by steam.
That is the spot indeed.
Or this next-generation device, powered by electricity. Of course, they weren't sold to satisfy women sexually. They were marketed to promote health and beauty.
Beauty within your reach.
Some promised cures for sore throats, others for wrinkles. But what you did in your private time was your own business. Even as recently as the 1960s, sex toys were still taboo and sold as novelties in red light districts. But oh, how things have changed. Today, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry and one I know nothing about. So, I wanted to learn more.
I think everyone should have one of these. It is versatile.
This year, businesses gathered in Burbank, California for the Adult Novelty Manufacturing Expo.
You want your neck to vibrate when you're giving a blowjob?
These companies manufacture adult toys, thousands of them.
And you realize, it's much more real than we thought.
And they're all trying to grab a piece of what is now a $15 billion industry. Want some context? Last year, Americans spent $75 billion on video games, $35 billion on going to the movies. At $15 billion, the sex toy industry got a really large chunk of our discretionary dollars, and a whole lot more than we spent on, say, Budweiser beer or Netflix subscriptions. I couldn't believe these numbers.
Wow, that is, ow. No.
So, I was curious. How did products that people wouldn't even talk about, let alone buy a short time ago, turn into a multi-billion-dollar mainstream industry? My first stop, Doc Johnson. They're the industry leader, the biggest manufacturer in the U.S.
Good morning.
The company was launched in 1976 when founder Ron Braverman bought a small manufacturing business that made rubber fishing lures. They retrofitted the machinery and started making rubber sex toys.
How are you?
Today, the company is run by Ron Braverman's son, Chad. They work out of a 7-building complex, employ around 500 people, from line workers to sales reps and even human resources.
Good morning, Doc Johnson.
They're just like any other company, except, well, they make vibrators and about 2,500 other adult products.
Americans spend a lot of money chasing the ultimate orgasm, and that is something that Doc Johnson has been wanting to give its customer for 40 plus years.
Their growth speaks to a massive cultural shift.
It's still kinky, but it's just way more accepted. It's not necessarily as taboo.
Today, I'm touring the Doc Johnson factory.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm Chad.
Nice to meet
Welcome
you.
to Doc Johnson.
Thank you.
So here it is.
I don't even know where to look.
So this is where we stage all of our molds.
I'm trying to look you in the eye.
That's okay,
Like
I get it. No, I mean, take it in.
Oh my God, we are not in Kansas anymore.
So all these molds that you see here are going to be used here in this production facility.
Okay. What is that? Is that
So-
silicone or plastic?
So this
or-
is an elastomer.
Okay, what's an elastomer?
Basically, it's a rubber. Almost all of our products are made out of elastomer. One of the things that Doc Johnson is known for is like realistic product.
What's the difference between a dildo and a vibrator?
Okay, so like a vibrator has like a battery pack
Right.
and vibrates.
Right.
A dildo, in its like truest sense, is just kind of like a phallic-shaped item. And the difference between a dildo and a dong is a dong doesn't have like balls.
Okay. What are those?
So this is your classic butt plug.
A butt plug.
Yeah.
That's really big.
Well, it could be this size too.
Okay, so
That's smaller.
I would use these as a popsicle mold.
I feel like I'm blowing your whole world up here. So this is our double dong rack. This is how we manufacture double dongs.
Okay, so double dong is a double-sided
Exactly.
penis. And how many of these products do you sell to Americans every year?
So I mean, we sell in over 65 countries, so it's
okay.
not just Americans.
Okay.
We manufacture in America, which is sort of like Doc Johnson's big sort of like claim to fame. So out of this facility alone, we manufacture about 75,000 products a week.
A week,
Because we're doing about 15 to 20,000 a day here. Over 4 million products a year.
Wow, that's a lot of orgasms.
That's a lot of orgasms. Going in?
Hot dong.
It's a hot double dong.
That's a hot double dong. Those look like Swedish fish and chicken broth. The Braverman family is running a serious pleasure product empire. But despite growing acceptance, the sex toy industry faces all kinds of restrictions and roadblocks. Do you find that because of what your products are, that you're treated differently than other manufacturing businesses?
Yeah, I mean, being in this industry, we're definitely treated differently by certain entities.
You are?
Yeah. So like,
How
I mean,
so and who?
Well, like for instance, banks. I mean, we can't, banks won't house our money. Certain banks will not
They
house
won't
our money.
house your money.
Yeah, if we ever needed a loan, a business loan, our options are extremely limited.
Is it better now than it was 10 years
it's better.
ago?
It's better than it was 10. It's way better than it was 20 years ago. But
Okay.
it's still, a huge problem for the industry in general.
How do you guys market Doc Johnson? I mean, it must be harder than, say, toothbrushes.
Well, it's a lot harder because, there's a lot of rules and regulations about where we can market. Facebook, for instance, can't advertise on Facebook, can't advertise on Instagram, can't use some of the tools that the social media companies are giving a lot of people to sell their product, to promote their product, are not available to companies in the adult industry.
What is the business like today? Like, what's your revenue?
We sell over 5 million SKUs a year at a $50 to $75 average MSRP. There's a number there that at least is something to chew on.
So if Doc Johnson is selling about 5 million products a year, and the average product sells for about $65, then Doc Johnson could be generating more than $325 million in sales a year. So even despite those regulations, Americans want their orgasms. And what do you think about all these new competitors that you've got to keep up with?
When I look back at like 1976, I look at 3 or 4 companies that were doing this and pretty much supplying all the product to the market, Doc Johnson being the largest one. Today, you have maybe 1,000 companies. I'm going, to battle with the next closest pleasure product company who's making and importing all of their product from China. So it's important that we invest in R&D because that's the lifeblood of our company. You need to have newness in order to survive.
Like any business, Braverman knows that to thrive and grow means keeping up with new trends and technologies. That goes for fashion, for food, and for sex toys.
So I'm going to show you kind of where everything starts here at the company.
Okay.
This is like our R&D studio.
R&D, like research and development. This is going to be good. I want to know how you guys do research.
This is where you're going to see a lot of different products in flux, things that we're designing and developing. And Johnny is our head sculptor here at Doc Johnson. She's been part of our R&D department for over 20 years. When Anjani's done with her part of this, we're now moving into casting and molding.
So what is the average cost of taking something from an idea into production?
You're looking at from like the minimum of like 100,000 to get into a product upwards of, $250,000.
Wow, for one product.
The development of it and to get it production ready.
So are there ever, an instance where you spend this $250,000 and then it just is not a product?
I mean, yeah, look, unfortunately, we don't always hit home runs with everything that we do. The first product that comes to mind was a product we did called the iRide. We spent a lot of money on it, a lot of time.
What was it?
It was kind of
like one of those things?
Yeah, it's actually, that is that item right there.
Okay,
I mean, it was
so you
like
just
sort of
sit on it
kind of a concept of like a rideable item. And
so that little rider thing,
Yeah.
how much did that cost you?
so on a product like that, you're gonna hit upwards of that 250,000,
Wow.
and maybe even more on that. We had all this marketing, stuff around it, and it just it did fine. It just didn't do great.
Doc Johnson has clearly had more hits than misses. Popular products are certainly one big reason they're growing. But I think it probably has more to do with people simply getting more comfortable with sex toys.
If the ladies in church see this and ask you about it, just deny, deny, deny.
In the 70s, pornography, once a small marginal cottage industry, blew up. Obscenity standards were relaxing while Americans were becoming more comfortable with sexuality. And with VHS, porn went from seedy theaters to suburban bedrooms. By the 80s, people were openly talking about sex on shows like Bill Donahue and Good Sex with Dr. Ruth.
An orgasm is an orgasm.
As people became more comfortable talking about sex, the pleasure industry took off.
I'm going to start with Pure Instinct.
But perhaps the single biggest boost was this scene from Sex and the City.
Look! Oh, it's so cute! Oh, I thought it would be all scary and weird, but it isn't. It's pink for girls.
This was perhaps the first sex toy product placement, and with it came a new era of consumerism. Popular book and movie 50 Shades of Grey only furthered acceptance of kink and sex toys. Today, Amazon carries 60,000 adult products. You can purchase sex toys in CVS and Target, and there are thousands of emerging companies vying to get you off.
Hey, it's Emily from Sex with Emily.
Emily Morse is the host of the most popular podcast on sex in the U.S. It receives almost 1 million downloads a month.
Do you know how good this stuff makes oral sex taste and feel?
She knows everyone in the business, and she's seen how much the industry has evolved.
The sex toy industry is booming because now there's an acceptance of toys. People are just much more open, and there's a lot more products to make now because people are like, I need nipple clamps. I didn't know there was a thing. Or, I need lubes in 10 flavors. I want my partner to tie me up. And they're like, great, here's how you do it. It's been explosive in the last 15 years with product.
Why should I buy a sex toy?
Why not buy a sex toy? Why not buy a sex toy? Sex toys help people have better orgasms. There's a lot of ways that our fingers just aren't gonna cut it.
So are you telling me that I can never have certain experiences unless I use a sex toy?
Yeah, which is fine. You'll live a very happy life and things will go.
You're making me really sad right now. I gotta be honest. What is the biggest shift that you've seen in the business of sex toys?
Absolutely. Sex tech is going to be a big part of the sex industry. We're already seeing that with apps that bring people closer together and the technology that's created for people to have better orgasms. If you want it, the sex toy industry can make it happen for you. As in every other industry, technology is changing the sex game. There are companies developing sex robots with artificial intelligence.
I want to have sex in a public place.
Pleasure products that you can control with an app and Bluetooth technology. There is even a new field called, get this, teledildonics. That's right, where technology allows partners to control each other's sex toys remotely.
Fuck, it's pretty good. Shit.
I'm not sure if all this is very romantic, but it is lucrative. Some claim that sex tech is now globally worth $30 billion.
This one is called Here Comes the Sun. It's solar powered, so you leave it on your porch all day.
To find out more about sex tech, I'm heading to Silicon Valley to visit Lioness, a startup that's created a new kind of vibrator, one they claim has game-changing tech. Just last year, CEO Liz Klinger, VP of Engineering Anna Lee, and CTO James Wang introduced their first smart vibrator, a vibrator designed to not only stimulate, but also help the user understand what gets the best results.
Lioness helps women learn more about their own bodies, have better orgasms, and ultimately also have better sex.
Lioness is a vibrator that also has sensors. There is an accelerometer and gyroscope to measure motion. 4 sensors measure pressure or intensity of an orgasm. And it has temperature sensors. It's a little like a Fitbit for personal pleasure. And it all started here, on the campus of UC Berkeley.
This is the invention lab where we, really early on, were building some of the early prototypes of Lioness.
The evolution of Lioness.
Wow. I didn't realize that there was so much machinery inside one of these contraptions.
For sure.
Yeah,
so
especially for ours, because of the things that it's able to do.
I mean, you were an engineer at Amazon,
yeah.
correct? So you decided to leave Amazon, Big
Yeah.
Papa Amazon, to come here to
build vibrators that will help people learn more about their own bodies. I realized being an engineer and also a woman is a superpower. A lot of vibrator companies are owned by men, and so I felt like I had to come build something that I knew could be a good product for women by women.
So what is in here? What is all that?
So this is when we started doing all of the electronics by hand. We started programming our own programs in here, firmware, and we also did a lot of user research. We interviewed with a lot of women.
A lot of this process was not just the technology, but also prototyping the form factor. So I'd get the visual feedback on, like, is this something that looks appealing? And then the second half of it is this something that actually feels good? So we got to something that a lot of people were happy with.
So this looks pretty nondescript. It does not look like something, you know, dirty or fetishistic. It doesn't really look like a penis.
Yeah.
Why does it have to look like a penis?
And that was a big point and why we made it this like easy gray color. So we purposely made it a sleek design so that it's easy for people to have somewhere in their closet or drawer and just feel comfortable having it.
And so where are the sensors now?
So you'll see the little bumps right here. So we actually only went with 2 sensors, and this is the location we decided to put it.
So like, can
Please.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So now it's gonna be on, so you can feel it, and then you can feel the vibration strength changes.
So this connects to an app. Where's the app?
So you'd use the vibrator first. The app's not involved when you're using the vibrator.
Okay.
And then when you have a question or you want to see something, you'd go to the app and you can see what happened. So what you're seeing here is from the force sensors. So this is the pelvic floor moving, and this pulsating part right here is the orgasm.
How does all of this technology make your orgasm better?
So this vibrator shows you your arousal and your orgasms. So once you have that, you can add notes to your session, sort of like a sex diary, to start figuring out for yourself what constitutes a good experience for you from a bad experience for you.
Building tech that could disrupt a $15 billion industry takes innovation, and it also takes a whole lot of cash. So you set out to build a better vibrator. How did you go about raising money? Because I imagine you would have to first suss out that whoever you're going to for investment is open to this kind of business.
Right. Exactly. So we bootstrapped for the first 6 months, and then after that, we started working out of the Berkeley lab. We got the space, and we got the equipment and the prototyping.
When was the point where you actually found a VC?
That was about a year ago at this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that amount of VC?
About $1.5 million.
How did you get customers?
Berkeley had approached us multiple times to cover our story. When this whole feature story came out on us, other journalists started covering it. A lot of it was word of mouth. So now Lioness is going to be profitable by the end of the year.
Well, that must feel amazing.
It's crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, you know, it's quite an achievement.
That's crazy.
Coming up on The Business of Sex, we dive deeper into the world of teledildonics.
People are waiting for a toy like this.
Then we meet a company now scanning porn stars to create digital sex toys.
You scanned a lot of girls in bikinis before?
Yeah.
This is pretty fucking cool, right?